It was an ordinary evening in a quiet suburban neighborhood on Earth. Mark Hunter, a man in his 30s, lived a simple life. He wasn't a soldier anymore. His days of fighting for his country were behind him, but that all changed in an instant. He was sitting on his porch, enjoying the cool breeze, when his phone rang. The voice on the other end was calm, but the words hit Mark like a ton of bricks. "Sir, we have a report from the outer colony. It's about your dog." The officer's voice trembled slightly, but Mark couldn't understand why. He wasn't prepared for what came next. They found your dog, Max. He didn't survive. The Galactic Council did it. They killed him in an attack today. Mark's blood ran cold. Max wasn't just any dog. He was Mark's best friend, his companion through thick and thin. Max had been with him through the hardest times, providing comfort when Mark felt the most alone. The thought that some alien force would come and murder him like this filled Mark with a rage he hadn't felt in years. As he stood there, frozen, processing the words, the anger began to build inside him. This was no random act of violence. It was an attack, carefully planned by the Galactic Council, and it was aimed at sending a message. Mark knew it. He could feel it in his bones. The Galactic Council had always seen Earth as insignificant, a planet they could manipulate and control. But this was a declaration of war. Mark's military instincts kicked in as he hung up the phone. He immediately began to investigate, reaching out to his old contacts in the military. What he discovered was chilling. The attack on Max wasn't just a one-off. For years, the Galactic Council had been testing Earth's defenses, pushing humanity to the brink of collapse, all while hiding their true intentions. They were gathering intel, watching Earth, waiting for the right moment to strike. And now, they had made their move. Mark's mind raced. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity for too long. They thought we were weak, easy to control. But they had no idea who they were dealing with. He punched the wall in frustration, the anger building up like a storm. But as the storm raged inside him, something else was taking shape. This wasn't just about his dog anymore. This wasn't just about revenge. Mark realized something even more important. This was the beginning of something much bigger. The Council had started it, but now Earth would finish it. Humanity's reckoning was coming, and Mark was going to make sure they paid for what they had done. But he wasn't alone. He had learned that there was something humanity had kept hidden from the rest of the galaxy for centuries, a secret fleet of powerful warships buried deep beneath the surface of Earth. These ships, equipped with cloaking devices and advanced weapons, had been waiting for the right moment to emerge. And that moment was now. Mark's resolve hardened. His personal pain, the grief over Max's death, was now a burning desire for justice. He would lead the charge. His military background, once retired, would now become humanity's weapon. He knew the Galactic Council wouldn't see it coming. They had no idea what was about to be unleashed. The death of his dog was more than just a personal loss. It was the spark that would ignite the fury of Earth's hidden power. But as Mark prepared to take action, he couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just about him. This was about everyone on Earth, the millions of lives the Galactic Council had ignored and belittled for so long. Mark wasn't fighting for revenge anymore. He was fighting for the survival of his planet. As Mark pieced together the information he had gathered, the true scope of the Galactic Council's plan became clear. They had underestimated Earth, but now they would see how wrong they were. The hidden fleet, kept secret for generations, was Earth's ultimate weapon. It was a fleet of unimaginable power, capable of destroying entire enemy fleets with ease. The fleet had been waiting, dormant beneath the surface of Earth, until the moment it was needed. And that moment had arrived. Mark, filled with determination, knew what had to be done. The Galactic Council had pushed humanity to its limits, but now it was time for humanity to strike back. As Mark prepared to mobilize Earth's hidden fleet, the Galactic Council, led by ruthless commanders and advanced AI, remained oblivious to the impending threat. They had no idea what was coming for them. Mark's mind was already racing ahead, formulating a plan to strike. The battle was about to begin. Earth would no longer be the underdog. This was the moment. The Galactic Council had made a deadly mistake, and Earth was ready to show them just how wrong they were. The countdown to humanity's vengeance had begun. In the depths of Earth's most secret government chambers, Mark Hunter stood alongside high-ranking military officials, his heart pounding with anticipation. Today, the truth would be revealed. A deep, hidden truth, one that could change the fate of Earth forever. The ancient warships, buried deep beneath Earth's surface for centuries, were humanity's secret weapon. These were no ordinary ships. They were equipped with the most advanced cloaking devices, AI systems capable of independent decision-making, and weapons powerful enough to destroy entire planets. Mark listened in awe as the briefing continued. These ships had been built long ago, hidden away for a time when Earth would be in dire need of protection. That time had come. The ships had remained dormant, awaiting a moment of crisis. Now, with the death of his dog and the Galactic Council's unprovoked attack, humanity had finally reached that moment. Earth's last hope was now in Mark's hands, and he was ready to lead humanity's first strike against the invaders. Mark's eyes narrowed as the order was given. From a hidden launch base deep underground, the first strike was about to begin. Earth's fleet, silent and cloaked, slowly ascended from the launch bays, their engines firing to life with a quiet hum. The ships glided through the atmosphere, invisible to the enemy's radar, ready to strike at the heart of the Galactic Council's outer defense stations. As the fleet reached its target, chaos erupted. Without warning, the cloaking devices dropped, and Earth's ships became visible to the enemy. In an instant, explosions lit up the sky. Mark's ship led the charge, weaving through incoming laser fire. His hands gripped the controls tightly as he deployed swarms of drones that scattered across the battlefield, overwhelming the enemy's defenses. Fast-paced battle. The battle was intense. Laser beams lit up the dark void of space as Earth's fleet fought against the superior alien technology of the Galactic Council. Explosions ripped through the vastness of space, filling the void with fire and debris. Mark's ship dodged another round of laser fire, its advanced AI calculating the best evasive maneuvers. Powerful orbital bombardments struck the enemy's space stations, tearing them apart in blinding flashes. Mark's mind raced, calculating each move, each second. He couldn't afford to fail. The stakes were too high. Every second counted. He watched as Earth's fleet tore through the Galactic Council's defenses, breaking their hold on the outer colonies. But as Mark focused on his mission, a sudden flash of grief hit him like a punch to the gut. In the chaos of battle, Mark's communications officer, Bonner, one of his closest friends, was struck by enemy fire. Mark's heart sank as he heard the cry over the comms, followed by a sudden silence. Bonner was gone. His friend, his comrade, was lost to the flames of war. For a moment, everything stood still. Mark's mind raced as the weight of the loss hit him. But then, something inside him snapped. The pain, the loss, the anger, it all fueled his resolve. He wasn't just fighting for his dog anymore, he was fighting for Bonner, for every soldier who had given their life for this mission. With a voice filled with determination, Mark spoke into the comms, "We fight for those we've lost. We fight for Earth!" The crew responded with a unified roar, and they pressed on, determined to bring the Galactic Council to its knees. The first strike was just the beginning. The battle had only started, and Mark knew the war would be long. But with the fleet's firepower, humanity's will, and a burning desire for justice, they were ready to face whatever the Galactic Council threw at them. After breaching the Galactic Council's outer defenses, Mark Hunter's ship, the Vengeance, continued its journey deeper into enemy territory. The mission was clear but dangerous. Infiltrate the heart of the Galactic Council's control center, the place where the true power lay. Mark and his crew knew they had only one chance to make it count. If they failed, Earth could be doomed. As the Vengeance and the fleet moved closer, the vastness of the enemy's territory stretched out before them. The camera would zoom in, showing a sprawling alien city with towering skyscrapers glowing under the cold, starry expanse of space. It was a city of power, an empire built on technology and cruelty. Earth's ships circled above silently, invisible to the enemy as they approached their target. The calm before the storm only heightened the tension. Mark's heart raced. The closer they got to the heart of the Council's fortress, the more dangerous it became. If they were discovered, they would be outnumbered, outgunned, and utterly doomed. But for Mark, there was no turning back. The death of his dog and the loss of his friend Bonner had made this personal. Underdog theme. Inside the Galactic Council's fortress, technology was far beyond anything Earth had. Robots and AI-controlled defenses patrolled the hallways, armed and ready to stop any intruders. The odds were heavily stacked against Mark's team. Yet, despite the massive technological advantage of the enemy, Mark led his team with a fierce determination. Mark and his crew couldn't match the Council's technology, but what they had was something the aliens didn't: human ingenuity and the element of surprise. They used their environment to their advantage, setting traps, creating diversions, and outsmarting the enemy at every turn. It was the perfect example of an underdog story. Humans, with nothing but their courage and determination, taking on the technologically superior Galactic Council. The tension boiled over as Mark and his team found themselves deep inside the fortress. The air was thick with tension as they stealthily moved through the dark, metallic corridors, keeping close to the walls to avoid detection. But suddenly they were ambushed. Alien soldiers, armed with advanced weapons and sleek armor, appeared out of nowhere. A brutal hand-to-hand battle broke out. Mark fought fiercely, his training kicking in as he disarmed one alien after another. The combat was close and violent. The sound of fists against metal and the crackle of energy weapons filled the air. Mark's squad pushed forward, refusing to back down, even as their enemies fought back with deadly force. The close-quarters combat was chaotic, but Mark's team held their ground. They were resilient, using their sheer will to fight and survive. In the heat of the battle, Mark's mind flashed back to Bonner's sacrifice. His friend had given his life for this mission, and Mark couldn't allow that sacrifice to be in vain. The anger and grief surged through him, fueling his determination. With a renewed sense of purpose, Mark and his team fought harder, pushing forward through the fortress, until they came face to face with the alien commander, the one who had orchestrated the attack that killed Mark's dog. In that moment, Mark's emotions took over. Every punch, every strike, was driven by the memory of Bonner and the pain of losing his best friend. With one final powerful blow, Mark defeated the commander. The battle wasn't over, but the first step in humanity's revenge had been taken. This part of the story blends intense action with emotional depth, showcasing Mark's resilience and the underdog spirit of humanity as they infiltrate the heart of their enemy's stronghold. Each battle scene is crafted to keep the audience on the edge of their seats, while also making them connect emotionally with Mark's journey and his personal stakes. As the battle raged on, the Galactic Council realized they were losing control. Their once feared fleet was being torn apart by Earth's hidden warships. Desperate to eliminate the threat, they called for reinforcements. The skies of space darkened as the Council's massive fleet arrived, determined to crush Earth's retaliation once and for all. The battle exploded into chaos. Earth's ships, now fully activated, clashed with the incoming Galactic Council fleet in a fierce dogfight. Lasers cut through the blackness of space, creating flashes of light in the void. The sound of laser blasts and missile explosions echoed in Mark's ears as his ship, the Vengeance, maneuvered through the chaos. Mark's heart raced as he fought to maintain control of the battle, knowing the fate of Earth rested in his hands. Orbital bombardment. Earth's fleet, using advanced cloaking technology, had the upper hand in stealth, but it wasn't enough to win this war. Mark knew they needed something more, something powerful. With a battle cry, Earth's ships launched their most devastating weapon, an orbital bombardment. The bombardment ripped through the Galactic Council's capital ship, causing massive explosions. The shock waves shook the battlefield, sending debris flying across space. Mark watched as the massive ship staggered, its control systems flickering and failing. The impact was monumental, and for a moment, it seemed like the tide of the battle had turned in Earth's favor. But the victory was not yet secured. As Mark and his team pressed on, the Vengeance took a critical hit. The damage was severe, and the ship's systems began to fail. Mark had no choice but to make a desperate last-ditch effort to destroy the Council's command ship. In a heart-pounding space chase, Mark used Earth's superior cloaking technology to sneak up on the enemy flagship. The tension was unbearable as he closed in, staying hidden in the shadows of space. With one final push, Mark detonated the core of the command ship, unleashing a devastating explosion. The command ship disintegrated, and the last of the Galactic Council's control over the galaxy was shattered. Part 5. Victory. A new era for humanity. Earth had won. The Galactic Council's fleet was in ruins, their forces scattered and crippled. The galaxy would never be the same. As the remaining Council ships retreated, the message was clear. Humanity was not to be trifled with. Earth had proven itself as a formidable power, one that could stand up against even the most advanced civilizations in the universe. The impact on humanity. As Mark watched the enemy ships retreat into the vastness of space, a mix of emotions surged within him. He thought about his dog's death, his friend Bonner, and all the fallen soldiers who had given their lives for this victory. The sacrifice of so many would never be forgotten. The final scene showed Earth's fleet, battered but victorious, returning home. The air was filled with the sound of celebration, the echoes of humanity's triumph. Humanity was no longer the underdog in the galaxy. It was a force to be reckoned with. Mark's eyes glistened as he reflected on the long road that had led them here. This victory was not just for his dog or for his fallen comrades. It was for all of humanity. Standing on the deck of the Vengeance, Mark looked out into the stars, a sense of peace settling over him. The war had been won, but the battle for humanity's future had just begun. The galaxy had changed forever. Earth, once a forgotten planet on the edge of the universe, was now a force that could shape the future. Mark stood tall, his heart full of pride, knowing that humanity had not only survived but had risen to greatness. A new chapter had begun for Earth, one filled with hope, unity, and strength. With the stars shining brightly above, Mark knew that Earth's place in the galaxy was secure. The age of humanity had arrived. The battle was over. Earth's fleet had delivered a crushing blow to the Galactic Council. The once mighty forces of the Council, feared by many across the galaxy, were now shattered and broken. Earth's ships had decimated their fleet, sending their flagship into ruins and sending a clear message to the universe. Humanity was no longer the weak, defenseless species it once was. Earth was now a power to be reckoned with, standing tall among the stars. As the remaining Galactic Council ships turned and fled into the vast reaches of space, Mark's heart pounded with a sense of victory. The enemy was retreating, and Earth's revenge had been swift and decisive. The sound of battle had faded, replaced by the quiet hum of Earth's fleet, victorious and alive. The people of Earth had fought for their survival, and now they had proven that they would never be trampled again. Mark stood at the helm of the Vengeance, watching the stars stretch out before him as the last of the Council's ships disappeared into the void. He thought back to everything that had led to this moment: the loss of his dog, the death of his friend Bonner, and the countless soldiers who had sacrificed their lives for this victory. The pain of their loss still lingered, but it was replaced by the overwhelming sense of triumph that filled the air. The Earth fleet was battered, but it had accomplished the impossible. Earth had not only survived, but had turned the tide of battle, crushing a once invincible enemy. Humanity was no longer an underdog, no longer a target for the powerful to crush. Humanity had risen, stronger than ever, and had earned its place among the stars. As the Earth fleet made its way home, Mark's thoughts turned to the future. The war was over, but humanity's journey had just begun. The universe was vast, and now humanity was ready to explore it, ready to claim its place in the cosmos. The echoes of victory would last for generations to come. Earth's victory was a new beginning, a promise of a future filled with hope and strength. Mark walked to the edge of the deck, looking out into the endless expanse of space. The battle had taken its toll on him, but as he gazed at the stars, a sense of peace washed over him. The war was finally over, and humanity had triumphed. He had fought not just for his fallen comrades, but for every person on Earth. He had fought for a future where humanity would no longer be seen as weak or insignificant. In this moment of quiet, Mark knew that this victory was not just for him, not just for his fallen dog or his lost friends. This victory was for every human who had ever dreamed of a better future. A future where humanity stood tall, united, and strong. A future where the galaxy would see Earth not as a backwater planet, but as a force to be reckoned with. As the Vengeance sailed back to Earth, Mark knew that this was just the beginning. Earth was entering a new chapter, stronger, more united than ever before. The stars had opened up to them, and humanity's place in the galaxy had been secured. The age of Earth had arrived. A new era was upon them, and the universe would never be the same again.